Hello, hello, good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing on this amazing Sunday today? Welcome. I have a special guest here with me today. He's kind of hiding right now till I kind of pull him out. Yes, so welcome. For those who are joining me here live today, if you can just comment hi, so I can just give you a little shout out while we're doing this live broadcast. And for those who are catching the replay, comment replay so I can see who you are and I can come back and say thank you and for taking time out of your day to watch. We were talking about get on top of your game. And who wants to get on top of your game today? Comment yes in the comments if you would like to start getting on top of your game. I know many of us have a lot of things that we are working on, things we want to do, but what is one of the most precious things that we have? Time, right? Yeah, so today joining me will be Michael Kribus, and he is going to be discussing his process that he created, and he wrote a book on it, on how you can get on top of your game when it comes to your time. So without further ado, let me welcome Michael here. Let me just put him on so you can all see him. Yes. So Michael, you are live and well.
Hi guys, what's up?
There we go. There we go. Awesome.
All righty. Yeah. Okay, Keila, nice talking with you again.
Yes, it's awesome to always talk to you and discuss, coaching and stuff, how it goes. Definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great show. So basically, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Michael Kribus, as Keila says. I've developed a time management and self-development method for the last 5 years. The book is called Visual Pathway. That's the book. That's what's gonna get you on top of your game. Basically, what we want to do today is understand how can we become more efficient, become more productive, and how can we make things better in our life so everything will be much more easier, through the entire process of what we are doing, creating, solving problems, managing ourselves. For the last 5 years, I've been working with so many people. I've seen so many things and issues I've been able to solve, and we were hoping to solve those issues together with people online. Okay, so Keila, would you like to tell them why should they stand until the end of the show?
I don't know. Should I let the cat out of the bag?
I don't know. What do you think?
I guess that would be nice. Well, you guys have an amazing opportunity today. So not only do we want to just have you sit and listen to us talk about a process that can really help you get on top of your game, but we also want to help you in how you can do that. So Michael has been very generous, and he's going to be offering 3 people a free coaching session with him. So for those who are on here live today with us and who are actually engaging with us, who have questions or asking questions, making comments, what I'll be doing is I'll be putting your name in a draw, and we're going to be pulling 3 lucky people to get some coaching with Michael Kribus himself so that he can walk you through a little bit more details and steps on how you can actually make this a reality for you in your life. So that is that's the cream of the crop. That's a little piece of the puzzle there. It should say pie. You're talking about food, good stuff here. Yeah, so you have that opportunity. So stay with us through this session and engage with us so that we can know that, oh yes, you are getting value from this and this is benefiting you, and definitely you will be reaping the rewards of that. Yes. So as we're saying, I'm going to turn back over to Michael so he can get this started and share more details with you.
Yeah, thank you, Keila. I think it's going to be great value for our listeners, our viewers. So let's start. Defining why time management is important. Do you know, Keila, why time management is important?
But let's see. I have had that issue for quite a long time in my life. I will say, when I first met Michael, I was talking about that. How I struggle with time management. I felt like I was it was overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed. How many have you felt like that? drop overwhelm or the emoji like this, like scary in the comments. Let me see. That is how I felt all the time. It's like, oh my goodness, especially when I started working on my business and stuff like that, and I had more things going on. It was like, oh my goodness, I felt overwhelmed. And time management was a key, something I wanted to get at, definitely hang on. And with reading, hello, Fakule, how are you today? Thank you for joining us. So when I started reading his book, it was like eye-opening for me. Like, and if you have read, I don't know, many of you have read Eat That Frog, another great procrastinating book. Oh goodness, why is his name failing me right now? He's actually promoted Michael's book right now, so as well. But yes, if you have ever read that book, it was a great opener as well as that for me. But yes, time management is key. It's like you don't want to have to feel overwhelmed when you don't have to, right? So that's what we're going to hear to help you with.
Exactly. That was Brian Tracy, who read my book and gave me a great review. So basically, why do we need time management? We need time management because of a very basic, I would say, assumption. At school, university, at home, in our life, we are not being taught how to manage our times. We are taught to do math. We are taught to learn history or whatever. But time management or self-management is something none of us were taught to, how to do it. So what we are going to do today, I just want to make sure that we understand that I'm going to offer you a buffet of things you can learn from. Don't think in black and white. Everybody was born equal, but every one of us should have like a different taste or a different opinion or a different way to implement time management. So time management is something which is very unique because it's a resource. Maybe it's the only resource that you cannot save, you cannot store, you cannot produce, you cannot borrow, and you cannot see. Basically, you just can't see. The only thing that shows you the time is this one, maybe a clock. But again, this is something which is very virtual. So it's very important to understand that because of that, time just flies. So that's the bad news. Time flies. What's the good news? You are the pilot. You are piloting your own ship into that voyage of time, and you have to manage yourself, and you have to make sure that everything or every things that come into your space have value. So what I want to do today, I want to sell you time. There's small boxes. We got 20 minutes. We got 1 hour. We got 25 hours, and we're going to sell them online. Well, no, you can't, because as you progress in your day, time just flies. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to teach you how to take 2 rockets, tie them on your back and just fly, and make sure that everything you do, make sure that everything that you are intend to do or plan to do during that day will have a value. So let me just, start with a story. Let's say, Kelia, that I'm going to offer to all participants a free tickets to the Maldivian Islands. How about that? What do you think?
I know. Wow, really?
Free, yeah. So if that was the case, and I would tell you, you know what, but you have to be ready at the airport by tomorrow, 7 a.m. You say, okay, I'll be there, right? Okay. Yeah. So when we end the show, or maybe when we end the call, you say, oh no, I got so many things I need to do. Now, I bet you that if that was the case, everyone here would manage to do twice as much as they managed to do each day if they had tomorrow a flight to an island. So what's the difference? What makes the difference between today when you don't have a flight and when you have a flight? It's the goal, it's the purpose, it's the intention.
Yes.
So what I suggest to you, each day, fly to that island. Make sure that each day count.
Yes.
Now, how do you make sure that you have to plan? So how do you plan? If you think, guys, that what we are doing now is just coming out of our head, yeah, it is. But we have a plan. Everything is planned ahead. When you plan ahead, everything is much more clear. And as I talk to you, I got all the list of topics I want to discuss with you, and that's what makes things much more clear. Let me just tell you for a few minutes my personal story. So that was about, I think, 6 years ago. I was lost in time. I couldn't handle anything. If I got a new project coming in, it was just, it would knock me off my chair. I read all the books I could, download all the apps I could. Nothing works. Nothing. So I decided, okay, let's build my own time management system. So it was, I think that was Friday, and I was watching this TV show that was, I think, National Geographic, and I saw how air traffic controllers are managing incoming flights and outgoing flights, and it was like a eureka moment for me. Like I thought, oh yeah, that's it. This is how it should be done. And I started to work, and I started to implement my own time management in the office. So it was like after a year, my boss came to me and told me, Michael, I don't know what you did, but you are now times folds better than anybody else. So, I say, all right, here comes the raise. There's an end of the year bonus. Yeah, it's going to be great. But then he told me something that was my turning point in life. He told me, you know what? I'm going to send you people to your office so you can train them in time management. I said, all right, let's do that. So I started to train people, and the feedback was great. People came to me, I taught people, and I was saying, you know what, let's just write maybe a booklet of something. So all what I think is time management is about. So let's, I can give it to people. So I started to write 80 pages, then 120, 80 pages, and eventually that's what came out, Visual Pathway. By the way, why Visual Pathway? Why do I call it Visual Pathway? What I've discovered during those years that our mind is very visual. So it's like everything that happens in your mind have to occur outside of your mind, because years ago, 100 or 1,000 years ago, we started to draw on caves, paint on caves. Why? Because we wanted to put out what we thought. We wanted to express our feeling outside of our mind. Then came writing. We invented writing because we understood that nothing can be kept in our head for too much time. We can't remember more than like maybe 4, maybe 7 things. I mean, if I'll give you a shopping list, Kelia, how many items would you remember? 6? And then you're gonna get lost.
It's funny, Michael, that you said that, because I will find myself, I will think a thought, okay, I got to do this, and then I will go do something, and then I don't know, hours, maybe the next day later, I'm like, oh shucks, I didn't do what I didn't do this thing.
Exactly.
And that is true. But when I find when a thought comes to me, like when ideas come to me, I quickly go and grab a paper and write it down, because I know in 5 seconds it's going to be gone, especially if I do something different. Yes. And that is like, that's crazy. So that's why it's very important, as what Michael here is saying, is that you want to put pen to paper. And it's not a thing about memory. It's not a thing about age. Not all about age, I should say. Not all about age. Age does help in decaying your memory, depending on what you're saying. But it is also about your short-term and long-term memory. Your mind is bombarded with information all the time, consistently. If you don't take that time to just write your thoughts down, it's gone. Exactly. No matter how good it may be, it's gone. So yes, definitely, Michael. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't keep too many things in our head, and this is why I call it Visual Pathway, because you have to visualize making your thought or maybe your plans and maybe your to-do list make them concrete, making something tangible out of them, like a list that we have. So how do you start? I mean, how do you get into motion? How do you make sure that you're on the right track? I mean, what would you do in order to get more time in your life, or be more efficient or more productive? Well, let's just imagine that you want a pizza. You like pizza, Kelia?
So it's all right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say you want to order a pizza and you sit at your home in your living room and you want pizza. Then would the pizza arrive? No, it would not, because nobody will knock on your door and say, hey, would you like a pizza?
No.
What do you need to do in order to get a pizza?
I have to pick up the phone and call.
Exactly.
I have to order it.
Exactly. So sitting there and doing nothing, or just imagining what should happen in your life, is the same thing with the pizza. You have to make action. You have to do something in order for things to happen. So the first thing I would suggest is have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
We are great thinkers. We are great problem solvers. We can analyze. We can react. We have emotions. The only thing we don't have, most of us, is good memory.
Yeah,
this is where we lack of that skill. So I think that the first thing we have to understand is that we need a goal, a written plan. Take it out of your head. And why? Because as I was saying, you can store about maybe 4, maybe 7 items in your head, and if those things will run inside your head, things gonna get confusing. It's like a monkey that sits on your shoulder, and all the time you're reminding you, what's about that? What about that? You should do that. You should do that. Don't forget about that. So what do you do? What do you do in order to take that monkey out of your shoulder? You give him a banana.
Yeah.
You give him a banana.
Yes.
Yeah, give him a banana, it goes away. So how do you give your thought a banana? You write them down. So the first thing I just want to mention is that there was a research that ran, I think, in about 2014 with students. I think that was in Harvard. And they took us about 200 students, and the research, how many of them has or had written goals. So 84% of them didn't have any written goals.
Wow.
13% had goals, but they haven't written them. And 3% had written goals.
Wow.
Yeah, so they graduate, they became parents, they get married, and then they just review all the students, or the ones that they managed to find, and just measure what they do, how much they work. And it was not surprising that 30% of the students who had written goals earned twice as much of those who didn't have any goals.
Wow, that's amazing.
No goals at all.
Wow.
What about the 3% that had written goals? They earned 10 times more than the ones who had written goals, who had goals. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And why? Wow. It happened because when something is tangible, sitting in front of you, your mind starts to think about it.
Yeah.
So what I do, you can't see my office, but I got a very big posted sticky note here with all my dreams. All my goals are just right in front of me. So every time when I get up and, brush my teeth, make some coffee, sit down at my desk and start work, there's my goals. And by the way, there's one V already in one of those goals. So goals have to be tangible. They have to be written, because this is how your mind is thinking. Just imagine yourself, you're at home. You have a picture, you have a photo. Everybody like to express what they have inside their mind or inside their emotion outside of their body. So, let's ask, who do we got online? What kind of goals do they have?
Well, let's see. I think Fakule, you're still here with us today. Do you currently have any goals, personal goals for yourself? But I know some of your business goals, but share any of your goals. Michael doesn't know them, so if you feel free to share some of your goals with us here today. He is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in Nigeria, and he's helping some young youth there. And I see Dawn here just jumped on with us as well. Okay, Dawn is asking, what do you do if you can't decide on your goals or are following someone else?
All righty, that's a good question.
That's a very good question, Dawn.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I do. You probably have, Dawn, you probably have a lot of goals, and you want to decide what is your goal, right? So very simple. Take a piece of paper. There you go. Everybody should have a piece of paper at their home. You take a pen and you write all your goals. Everything that comes out of your head, every goal that you have should be written down, and then you have to decide. So basically, everybody knows the story of the professor with the big stones, the small stones, and the sand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I want to add something on top of that.
Oh.
Pick the diamonds. So just think, out of those big stones, if you walk on them, will a diamond comes out of that stone? So yeah, so once you write all your goals, try to think, will that thing give me any value in life? How will it contribute to my lifestyle? Will that be any beneficial to my family, to my career? Whatever it comes out of your mind. And then what happened is that you use those very simple, there you go, Sharpie markers in colors, and I mark them. Red, that's important. Orange, should be. Blue, maybe. So you just take those markers and just put a dot near each one of them, and then just stick them on the wall. And then you have like a heat map where everything should be where is the most important stuff is, and your eye will catch the color very quickly. And every time you wake up and you see those colors, oh, what's that red? I should do that. And then your mind starts to think how to achieve that goal, because you read that sentence several times a day. So you're making your mind, you're like attracting whatever that you want to happen to you into your life. This is how it works.
That is very powerful.
Yeah.
I actually use that color scheme to do one of my vision boards. And some of the words, and blue is a very powerful color too, in terms of when you're writing in pen, like writing. Blue is more powerful than if you're using black. But yes, I definitely believe in that. using the color schemes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't like red and you like orange, whatever color you want, use whatever fits you. As we were saying, everybody was born equal, but everybody has their own needs.
Yes.
So, Kia, when do you wake up in the morning? On what time?
Okay. My alarm goes off at 4:30
a.m.
Bed, but yeah, 4:30 a.m. I get out of bed by 5 a.m. I let myself slowly wake up. I don't just jump out of bed. I let myself slowly wake up. So I give myself half an hour to get up, and I have a 1 hour routine that I do every morning. Do you want to hear my routine?
Yeah, because I got my routine here. Just showing you, each day that I wake up, I got this list. It's too small, you can't see that, but there are check boxes, as you can see. And each time I wake up, I pick up that list. I got a list per each day. You're going like you're sleepy, and there you go, food for the dog.
Yes, for sure.
Empty the trash can, laundry, put the paper in the recycler, whatever. So it's like, it's a plan. But again, waking up early is like creating a time machine. time machine are still like sci-fi, but I think that every one of us can create a time machine by waking up earlier. And why? Because once you wake up earlier, you are able to have a quiet piece of time of the day without anybody who will disturb you and plan the day ahead. You can answer email before anybody else. You can watch the news. You can read the newspaper before anybody else, and you set your day in motion. So by the time everybody gets up at 6, maybe 7 a.m., you're already into your day. You have answered all your emails. You've watched all those, SMS, WhatsApp notification, Facebook notification, whatever, and you're in the day. Everybody, wake up at 7, 8:30, they're into the day, and you're already running right ahead of them. So from the moment people are waking up until the minute they are going to sleep, they have full control of what they are doing. And this is what I taught myself, because I was saying, there's too many interruptions, too many things to do. And, I was pulled all over to all directions because of all those interruptions. And I decided, okay, I'm going to take control. Yeah. I'm going to take back control of my time. Don't forget that time just passes. And as the time passes, you have to find the right moment, the right time, or the right block of time to do the most important thing that is important to you. Of course, you have to think of, a lot of other people, but hitting the snooze button, that's giving up.
Yeah.
I heard there's a trick how to get up exactly when the alarm clock is taking off. So just count to 5. You hear the clock alarm, and you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you wake up. You go out of bed and you start your day. Personally, I think the snooze button is like a feature nobody should have. So it should be taken off. There's many clocks you can you can buy online, like clocks that run inside or on the floor, and you have to go and grab it. But whatever that's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the challenge today in the modern age of time management? Well, the challenge, or the big problem, again, this clock. This is the challenge. 3,000 years BC, somebody invented this device. And then everything just went berserk. Now, because of the clock, you have to be on time. Now, because of the clock, you have to wake up at a specific day of the time. You have to be at work at a specific day of the time. You have to meet with people with a specific day of the time. And it was, we got used to that, but this is how the problem started. And we are now today living in what I call time poverty. We don't have time. Yeah, so why do we don't have time? Just want to ask you something. With all the technology advantage that we have today, we got washing machines, we got dishwashers, we got elevators, we got cars. We don't have to go and hunt. And still we don't have time? I mean, we can buy now robots that clean the floor for us. And we still don't have time?
Why?
Why? Information overload. Because there's too many things coming at us. So there's too many interruptions. Where's my phone? Put it in the drawer. There you go. The year was, I think, 2007. Steve Jobs introduced the smartphone. Everybody was so excited. Everybody just took that device and put it in their pocket. Little did we know that we put a Trojan horse in our pockets. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all with technology. I love technology. Trust me, guys. Everything that have a beep, a sound, something that make an alarm, I'm the first one to get it. Trust me, I got an iPad, an Apple Pencil, a Mac, whatever you want, 2 iPads. It's a question of how to use that technology. You know, what happened is that today we are creating a world that full of devices, that creating information all over, but we can't obtain so much information. Our mind was not built to absorb or to get or be exposed to too much information. And what happened is that now we don't have focus because we sit here. You know, as I was talking with Kelia, I think that was about 3 minutes before the show, my phone rang. Okay, I got 2 WhatsApp and 1 Facebook notification. So, you know, there was a research made, I think that was in 2016. By the year 2002, if I'm not mistaken, we were exposed to about something like 37 electronic interruptions a day. That was allowed, maybe our cell phone, you know, whatever. 2016. Guess how many interruptions we are now having, Kelia? A day.
How many?
267.
Wow.
Average. So imagine yourself, you're sitting at your work, at your desk, and you want to do something, and all those interruptions are just disturbing us. So what do? How do we manage to manage our time? So the first thing I would like to do is just making sure how do we copy those time robbers. This is what we call them. So those time robbers are those devices or people or notifications that are getting into our zone. What we have to do is just we have to filter. We have to make sure that the important stuff get into our zone and the other stuff stays out. Basically, that's the secret of time management. That's it. You have to decide what comes in and what comes out. So I got a proposal. Kelia, what do you say? Let's have a petition for adding 2 hours a day. We'll have more time. It won't work, right? It won't work because, you know, world has its own rules. So people were thinking maybe we should multitask. Maybe we should do more things, you know, at the same time. But we do know that when we multitask, it's very hard to do one job. It's very hard to focus on one thing because usually our brain can do one major task in each given moment. The people who can multitask are called pilots. And only 2% of the population can actually multitask. So multitasking for most of us is out of the question. What we can do, we can walk and, you know, just speak in the phone. We can maybe listen to something and maybe just, you know, draw something on a page. But basically, we are a single task creatures. So multitasking is not the answer of how to do things. Now,
moms.
What?
Women. Are you forgetting us that we are multitaskers?
You're better than us. Yeah, you're better than.
Hey, I have a couple of viewers on here with me. Do you think that we are women are multitaskers, are like the queen of the crop of multitaskers? I know men. I know men. You can't do it, but we women could do it, right?
Yeah, women can do it. I do agree. But if you want to do one very important task, usually when you're multitasking, it takes longer. So as I was saying, the secret of good time management is deciding what comes into your space and what should be left outside of space. That's the essence. That's the core of time management. Don't forget, you can manage time. You know, time is like a train. You're just going by. So each moment, each hour in your day, you have to think: if is what I'm doing is important? Will I have any value of playing whatever game you're playing? Is watching TV has any contribution to my goals? Would surfing the web, looking for stuff, buying things online, whatever you guys do, how does it contribute to the goals that you have right in front of your working desk?
Yes.
And this is where things actually happen. When you think about that, and when you see your goal, and you're saying, telling yourself, "Wait a second, why should I go to Facebook just, swiping that feed? Maybe I should do something that maybe can, move ahead, maybe in one of those goals." So, how do you decide? How do you decide what's important? Well,
Yes.
I got a surprise for you. Everybody knows exactly what is important. Let's say that you're going for a trip. You have to maybe go, to a different country for 2 weeks. All right, to that same island. So what do? You start packing, right? So you got one luggage, and then you have to decide what comes into your luggage for those 2 weeks. Same each day. You have to decide each day what comes into your luggage and what stays out. Why?
Yes.
Because you have a goal, you have a purpose, you have a destination. If you have a destination, trust me, guys, you're going to know exactly what is important. And that's the trick. Think that each day has its own lifespan. And okay, what's my goals? What I want to do? Okay, what are the things I need to do in order to make sure the things that I want to do will happen? And how do you do that? How do you, make sure that everything comes into your space, or that the things that you are doing is important? For that, we have to go to the basics. Pen and paper. You don't have to buy an app. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars in, buying that sophisticated to-do list. A simple notebook and a pen, maybe with a few markers, will do the job. So, Kilia, 2018, and what paper? Everybody got smartphone and iPads. Everything is electronic. Come on, 47 guys is talking.
I know.
So it's very simple. 2 years ago, that was in the University of Yale. Two professors, that was Pam Muller and Daniel Oppenheimer. They made a research. So they took two parts of students. Okay, one class had the opportunity to attend or watch, I think that was 5, maybe 4 TED lectures, and they was using laptops. The other class used just pen and paper. Each one of those classes was separated. Each one of them saw the same TED Talks. By the end of those sessions, they ran a test, what each of those groups studied. Wow. The results were amazing. What they discovered is that the people who use laptops and just typed, all right, what they did is just transcript what they heard. So what happened is that because typing is very easy, what happened is that your mind is like acting like a router, doesn't think. Whatever you hear, you tap, because you say, okay, I'll learn it later on. But you're not, because you're just, you're like a pipe throwing all the information into the computer. You're giving the computer like the responsibility instead of you're taking the responsibility. What should you learn? And when you're using a simple pen, when you're writing, you have to think, because you write much, much slower. And each letter is different. So your motion, your action of actually writing, you have to think what to write, is what makes everything much more clear in what happens inside your brain. And the results was like amazing. All the students who use pen and paper were like, I think 7 times better than the students who use laptops. So I'm not saying everybody, stop using computers, maybe go back to the Stone Age. No. What I'm saying is that, just think before you're using technology. Meaning that if you have a plan, start thinking on paper. Because the paper can absorb anything. You can have drawing, you can doodle, you can have list, whatever, you can draw lines. But on a computer screen, just imagine the computer screen is flat. You'll see about 170 degrees angle. That's your field of view. Computers fits about, I think, maybe a sixth of what you can see. And it's flat, and using one finger to operate whatever you want to do, and you are confined to whatever that software that you are using is allowing you to do, right? So you, from the start, you are limiting yourself to a smaller world, a flat world, where you are like using one finger. So pen, paper, this is how you start to think. And this is how I start all my thinking. When I started, when we started this show and we had a plan, everything just went on paper. I was thinking, I was doodling, I was drawing line, making connection, more, another page. And when my thought just got sorted out, then it went into a very simple list of topics I wanted to discuss about this in this show. Other than that, the brain activity is much higher when you're writing on paper. I think that everybody can relate to the fact that, if you're writing, even on a computer, but if you're writing, if you're taking things out of your mind, things start to happen. You start to attract what you want to happen, and you remember much more. But, if you forget, it's very simple. Just go back to the page or go back to the list, and there you can continue. So that was about brain activity. So, how, why should I plan? People ask me, not how, but why should I plan? So, before we end the session, let's just imagine yourself that you're standing in front of a forest, a dense forest. Not a dark forest, but, a dense forest. At the other end of that forest, there's a flag, and that's your goal. So you say, okay, let's walk to the flag, and you start, walking into the woods. And you start, finding your way, looking, okay, what's the flag? Where's the flag? Oh, that's direction. And you, start to wander around. Oh, there's a river. Oh, let's look for a bridge. You're looking for a bridge. Oh, there's a bridge. Oh, it's a broken bridge. Okay, so let's build a bridge. We need an axe. Oh, I didn't brought an axe, and I'm out of water. Oh gosh. So this is what happens if you start your thing without planning. So what's planning? It's like, imagine yourself again standing at the beginning of the forest, at the edge of the forest, and then there's a road inside that forest. So it's very easy to walk in that road. And if you'll meet any time bandits on that road, okay, once you dealt with them, you can get back on the road and continue toward that flag. And this is exactly what plans, or that big note, your goal that is hanging in your working office is giving you. Kili, how much time do we have? I was talking and talking. I can talk for hours, but how much time do we have?
Just a couple more minutes, 5 minutes to wrap up. Yes.
All right. So, what I think, maybe we should give our viewers some homework for the next session.
I think good.
All right. So, I think that the best thing you should do, guys, is for the next session, buy a simple notebook, decide whatever you can buy a simple pen you can attach to that notebook, all right, and 2 highlighters, let's say a yellow one and an orange one. So this will be your, like, you know what a thumb drive is? Your notebook is your brain thumb drive. There's a reason we're using thumb drive, because we want to store things. So this notebook will.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So if you have this notebook, we'll learn on the other session how to manage your thought and your plans inside that notebook. It's very important to put everything that you have in your head in a very organized way. So that old school, a simple notebook, pen, 2 highlighters. I think we're gonna rock and roll with this notebook.
Awesome.
Do I have 30 more minutes? Seconds.
Yes, you can. You can. 30 seconds.
Yeah. So I just want to relate to the question we had. I got so many things, I don't know what to do. Trust me, guys. Nobody can do everything. You just have to pick your actions. You can't do everything. That's a basic assumption we all have to understand. We have to pick what's important for us and just do it. Do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Exactly.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael, for your taking the time out of your day to do this with us today. This has been a very informative session. I would believe that all my audience here would agree with that. Definitely, this is just a starting point for you to just help you, okay, how do I even start beginning to get on the top of my game? A simple method of paper and pen, as our Michael has said. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that is so basic. What are you talking about? I'm looking for this explanation, this long thing of, what I should do. No, we're taking it down to the basics and keeping it simple. And then that's what I love about Michael's his visual pathways and the method that he created. It is very simple. And that's what's key about that. Anything that you want to adopt in your life, if it's not simple, if it's complicated, get rid of it. So thank you, Michael. And I look forward to our next session with everyone here today. Yes, thank you. Dawn has said thank you. I believe she got their answer. Awesome. So now that we are on here quickly, let me just announce the 3 winners for the coaching session with Michael. That will be Fakule, Dawn, as well as Layla. So I will put the comments in this session so you can get an alert. Congratulations to you for being here, for showing up, and for engaging with us today. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Everyone have an awesome day. Take care, and we will talk again soon.
See you guys. Bye-bye.